This is Chris Broderick with Megadeth. And you are backstage with me to check out my gear. Hope you guys have a good time. Hope you get something out of it. And yeah, come on, follow me back. This is Fred Koala, my guitar tech. He's awesome, keeps me in tune sometimes.
Try.
But he helps me out. He does all the switching for me live. So when we're up there playing, I don't have to have a pedal board out there. You know, he's actually dancing with his fingers, you know, on our MIDI controller right there. Make sure that I'm going to the right patch. When I go to leads, I go to my lead channel. When I go to cleans, he messes it up, but he usually tries to get clean channel. I'm just joking, he's good. But at any rate, we'll get going with the gear now, and I'll start with the guitars. So this is my baby right here. This is my RGA custom 6-string for playing with Megadeth. It's got a nice quilted flame maple top. It's got the ZR bridge on it, which I love. DiMarzio deactivator pickups. I can't say enough about these pickups. They just, you know, I don't think I could design a better sounding pickup for what I like to play. It's got a kill switch on it. If you ever want to do any rhythmic kind of cuts in your playing, or just use it as an on-off switch. And a volume and a 3-way. It's pretty simple actually overall. I like using a custom radius, 12-inch radius on my fretboard. To me, it just feels a lot more natural under the hand. It's just a great all-around guitar. And then we have here some of the inspiration for my custom there, which is an S24 fret series Ibanez guitar, again with the ZR bridge, which I love. I had him remove the original volume there and move it to the tone spot. And then again, just a 3-way switch on this one as well. And a great paint job. Yeah. So those are my two guitars. I only bring two guitars for stage. One is a main and obviously one is a backup. Then I have a backstage guitar where I practice in the dressing room and stuff like that. And then I have another guitar that I practice when I'm at my hotel room. But that's about it really for live. And we come over here to the gear, and we basically start off obviously a Furman power conditioner so that we don't get too much interference from the power lines. We get the switcher in case I have to switch guitars. So I'll have 3 different possibilities for different guitars that I could have patched in to that. Right now I'm using Shure wirelesses, and then we're demoing the X2 unit from line 6, I think it is, right? Yep. Yeah. Down here we get to the heart of the tone, which is these Fractal Ultra units, which I'm in love with right now. We go straight into this unit with the guitars, go straight out of this unit into the Marshall power amps, which is a stereo power amp, 200 watts. And then out to some Marshall cabinets loaded with vintage 30s. So overall, the setup is pretty simple, but when you get into the complexity of this unit, then that's where you get, you know, all of the different pedals and the different effects combinations that you can possibly use. And let me get into that a little bit more for you. I'll show you what I use it for and some of the cool things that I like to use it for. I'll just bring up the interface for the Axe effects. One of them is right here, where if you notice, I take the input right here and bring it off to this line right here. The reason I like to do that is for a DI, so that when we play a show where we want to reamp or something like that later, people can just plug into the left output of output 1 and get that, that DI signal, so that you don't have to worry about putting a box in front of it as well. And then, you know, we take the main line that you're going to run to your power amp, and you have your amp model right here. Now for this one I'm using an Energy Ball, which is a clone of an amp, and you've got tons of controls. You know, your standard controls right here, but then you get into things where you get into your depth damping and your sag and all of that. Then we come to the cabinet simulator, and right now the cabinet simulator for me is more for my in-ears, and that's just so that I have a constant, consistent volume. From there, we look at the effects loop, and I use this to actually, these are the outs that are actually running to the power amp. So if you notice, that splits off before the cabinet simulator, and I run that directly into my power amp out to the cabinets. And so the live sound is going to be through the real cabinet, and then my in-ear sound is through the cabinet simulator. Another thing that I use quite a bit is the intelligent pitch shift when I need to do some sort of a harmony, like I do in 1320. I have a harmony that's a diminished fifth. I also have one that's an A minor up a third and F sharp minor down a third for small little parts within that solo. You know, things that I harmonized in the studio that you just couldn't recreate live without, you know, a harmonizer doing it for you. And again, you could route these so differently than most any other unit I've used. That's one thing that's really cool about this unit. So this is actually the guts of my tone, is in that fractal unit. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've learned something about my gear. And maybe it'll help you out. All right, have a good one.